Shooting in a Remington 1911 R1 in 45 ACP. William Hovey Smith, 2020. I'm an author, and I've written a number of outdoor books and also a business title, Create Your Own Job Security. This title covers individual entrepreneurship and encourages a person to create their own jobs anytime, any place, anywhere, at any age where they might need to raise a little money, like perhaps right now. My newest book is a novel, Father of the Grooms, which is an action-adventure story that takes an American family of Sicilian origin back to Sicily, where they run into their mafia relatives and are made an offer that they cannot refuse. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And we're out with our Remington 1911, basically just doing some initial shooting with it. This is, for all practical purposes, a new pistol. It's had a few hundred rounds run through it. I've loaded up some 185 grain Hornady XTP hollow points in it with a medium load of unique, and I'm just shooting these up through the pistol. Now, this is a pretty poor use of some rather expensive bullets, but this was what I could get at the time, and this is what I'm using. I'm going to be loading this as a hunting handgun, and actually it's already taken game. It shot a coyote a few days ago whilst I was turkey hunting. This is a video I did about the coyote I took with the gun. And that's what I use this pistol for, as an auxiliary gun while I'm turkey hunting. Now, the problem with semi-autos over, say, revolvers or single-shot pistols, which I also shoot. This is one of my 8 ebook series on muzzleloading guns. Is that it scatters brass all over blazes. And I'm out here shooting in a field. So what do you do to catch your brass? Well, what I've got is an old piece of torn up shower curtain that I picked up by the side of the road. And I've cut out a square and I've laid it behind me, and I'm using it to catch the brass so I don't lose half of it in the weeds. So if you're ever going to cycle one of these pistols or do much shooting with it and have an improvised range or just take it out in your own woods to shoot, well, here's how you can save your brass. We're going to load it up, bing, put it on safety, and now we're ready to engage some targets. And this is what, for want of better phrasing, I'm calling a catchment sheet. Okay, I heard most of them hit the sheet, but I think 2 might have fallen short. I've moved my seat a little bit, and it's easier to move the seat than it is to move the sheet. So we're going to try it in this position. I do believe we succeeded. These are very mild loads. I've shot a lot of 45, and I mean, these loads are target level loads so far as power is concerned. So they're not as hot as I would like to use for hunting, and I'm going to load them hotter. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot up the rest of this ammunition and load up some hotter loads. Now, I also was using 2 different reloading presses. One, a Dillon press, and the other, an old single-stage herder's press. Well, the Dillon press is a rotary progressive loader, but I did not have the accessories to go with it. That is the automatic primer feed and the automatic powder feed. So I sold that press to someone who's going to put those accessories on it. And I'm going to go back for the small amount of reloading I do, which is a few thousand rounds a year. Not a week, but a year, to the single stage press. And we'll see if there's any notable difference in accuracy between the loads assembled with the two pieces. We have shot the brass loaded with a single stage press, and what has it told us? Well, our catchment sheet concept worked pretty good. I did lose about 3 or 4 rounds off the very edges of the sheets, but they were quickly found. It also demonstrated that the pistol in my hand shoots slightly to the left, and so I need to drift adjust the rear sight just a gnat's hair to the right. And you can see this very plainly on the target. So almost all of the group is centered right about here. There are some occasional flyers up and down, but yeah, this is about the center of the group, right there. I'll be shooting the same target with the same load of the same pistol, but these loads were assembled with the Dillon press. These are very mild feeling loads, and any 45 ACP shooter would consider these target loads. These Dillon loads are not fully resized, and they don't want to chamber. They'll chamber and fire if fed one at a time, but not from the magazine. All right, if that's how we got to shoot them, that's how we'll shoot them. I've dug out some already in the soil, but here is one right here. We're putting the soil out on our sheet, and we'll work through that. Okay, there's one. We recovered 30 of the XTP bullets out of the sand, and of those bullets, none were appreciably expanded. As I suspected, those are target level loads, and they don't generate enough velocity to actually expand the bullet. So I need to load hotter if I'm going to get expansion out of this or any of this class of bullets. Well, what did we learn from our shooting yesterday with the Remington 1911 in stainless steel? we found that some of the loads that we loaded worked very well and others not at all. In short, I was having failures to feed with the loads I ran on the Dillon press. Now I was using exactly the same dies, so obviously I didn't have the dies for that press set up quite correctly. It would signal feed the load, but not feed from the magazine. Interesting. Now, about the results between the two presses. These were the shots fired, loaded with the old Herter single stage press right here. These are the shots fired that were loaded with the Dillon press. A markedly smaller group. Why? I don't know. Perhaps I was just holding closer when I shot this, since I was hand holding the gun. And perhaps the lighting was a little better and I was able to get a better sight picture with the sights. Or learned how to shoot the sights a little better. At any rate, that is inconclusive so far as the value of the presses is concerned. Something else may well have been going on. Now the pistol itself shot this load pretty cleanly. There is a little discoloration here. And so there was a little flash and powder burn out at the muzzle, which means that Unique, quite frankly, would like a heavier bullet out of this case, is what that's telling me. Now, both of those series of shots showed a displacement of the pattern. The Remington pistol has a set screw on the rear sight. And you move the set screw up a little bit, and you can easily move the sight with the fingers. So if you own this pistol, don't put a punch on it and try to drive that rear sight. It's not needed. And this takes, by the way, an American set of Allen wrenches, and this is the smallest wrench in the bunch usually. We had some more of these XTP bullets, so we went ahead and loaded all we had to get rid of them. I've ordered some 230 grain XTP hollow points, and that's what I'll load and mostly use in this gun. Now I loaded this with Unique, and I increased the load a little bit with these loads I'm going to shoot right now. I also found that the 225 Kato Ojama's bullet for his muzzle-loading revolvers will also load in the 45 ACP. And we ran a few cases with that bullet in them right here. I need to relubricate it with a harder lube, however. The soft lube that I use in muzzle-loading revolvers, I fear will contaminate the powder. So I'm going to just shoot these. I just loaded them for testing today. And another thing with these loads we're doing, we're loading the cases with large rifle primers. Why? Because I got them. I tested before and they worked, and now we'll do a larger scale test on these I've just recently assembled. We did salvage some bullets for my sight, and the next time I do a lead melting, I'll actually melt those and recover the lead. Shooting the pistol did some good. Any match shooter will tell you that the first thing he needs to do with a new pistol is to run about 1,000 rounds through it before he gets too worried about accuracy and fine-tuning and blah, 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 blah. When I got this pistol, this latch needed a little help to work. But now that it shot a few hundred rounds, yeah, it works normally. It just needed a little shooting to smooth things up. Same thing with the slide. So, the pistol is doing and working very well indeed. And I see no reason it shouldn't give a lifetime of good service. the more it's shot at this stage, the better it'll be. For now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Shooting enough centerfire handgun ammo to actually break in a semi-automatic pistol properly is expensive. Now, if you do a reasonable amount of shooting, keep an eye out for an older hunter who might sell you some of his single stage gear, or you can go on eBay and look. Now, single stage presses, these are pretty rugged things, and they can be 30 or 50 years old and still produce good ammo. Just make sure you have the proper bases for the cartridges you're loading. Now, these two size groups were practical illustrations of a more stable shooting position versus a less stable position. Now, the knee-braced position is a particular use for those just starting out, or for older hunters, or for hunters who want to get maximum accuracy out of their guns in the field. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 800 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. For information about my Father the Groom's book, screenplay, and movie project, and how you may participate, you can go to fatherthegrooms.net. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless. If you like what I'm doing, I have an ongoing Kickstarter project to finance the screenplay that ends on May the 15th, 2020.